The woman is the president of a headhunting firm but tends to be forgetful in her daily life, often mistaking her own car. In stark contrast to her decisive professional demeanor exemplified by Kang Ji-yoon, she is overly assertive. No assistant can last under her for more than a week. Despite fighting alone, she always manages to perfectly meet her targets. However, an incident occurred in her recent project. She climbed thousands of meters up a mountain in high heels to poach a team leader for a client. Just as she was about to succeed, the arrival of a man ruined her efforts. His name is Yoo Eun-ho, the HR manager at the team leader's company. Upon learning about the headhunter's contact with the team leader, the department head tasked Yoo Eun-ho with retaining him. Yoo Eun-ho also climbed the mountain to talk to the team leader. This awkward situation caused the team leader to leave both behind. This was the first encounter between Kang Ji-yoon and Yoo Eun-ho. They were at odds and did not see eye to eye. As they descended the mountain at night, Kang Ji-yoon, wearing high heels, proceeded cautiously and her phone was dead. Seeing this, Yoo Eun-ho did not mock her. Raised well, he took the initiative to light her path and walked beside her. Kang Ji-yoon was touched, but still haughtily stated before leaving that she hoped they would not meet again. To retain the team leader, Yoo Eun-ho not only organized a gathering with the team leader's former colleagues, but also played the emotional card. He brought out the first mobile phone the team leader developed and talked about his past achievements and happy moments at the company. This made the team leader reconsider switching companies. The next day, Kang Ji-yoon went to find the team leader, who was about to cheer on his son at a competition, only to find Yoo Eun-ho had already arrived there on behalf of the company to support the event. Seeing his son so happy, the team leader completely abandoned the idea of switching jobs. This left Kang Ji-yoon quite frustrated. Although Yoo Eun-ho perfectly completed his task, he still wasn't favored by his manager, who stated that the success wasn't solely Yoo Eun-ho's achievement. During a toast with his subordinates, the manager deliberately skipped Yoo Eun-ho. Moreover, in subsequent tasks, he intensified his mistreatment by assigning intern-level duties to Yoo Eun-ho, a manager, even excluding him from meetings. Yoo Eun-ho's disfavor with his manager started a year ago when their department secured a project to update the management system. A perfect execution promised a promotion and a raise for the manager. However, Yoo Eun-ho received a call from his daughter's teacher, who noticed that she had become lonely and showed signs of illness after his divorce. Choosing his daughter over the project, Yoo Eun-ho decisively withdrew from the project and took parental leave. His withdrawal shattered his manager's hopes, leading to resentment and targeted hostility at work. Yoo Eun-ho considered resigning due to the continuous pressure, but financial burdens made him reconsider each time. Yet, he still faced the risk of being pushed out. His manager claimed that the team leader had resigned, not only switching to a foreign company, but also taking some intel on a new project. Yoo Eun-ho was held jointly responsible. Thinking of Kang Ji-yoon first, Yoo Eun-ho rushed to her company building. Before he could even get out of his car, the scatterbrained Kang Ji-yoon, having boarded the wrong car again, came directly to him. They stared at each other, wide-eyed. Kang Ji-yoon immediately fled in embarrassment, but Yoo Eun-ho followed, convinced that she was responsible for the team leader's defection. He accused her of lacking basic moral principles, warning that such a move would prevent the team leader from ever working domestically again. Kang Ji-yoon was also taken aback and about to refute when Yoo Eun-ho suddenly received an apologetic text from the team leader and rushed to the airport, leaving Kang Ji-yoon alone and disheveled, bearing the undeserved blame. At the airport, Yoo Eun-ho successfully met with the team leader, who expressed his helplessness at being labeled a traitor. He explained that his departure was simply because he wanted to work, but the company was holding him back from touching any projects, which was a waste of time for him. As an older man, he gave Yoo Eun-ho a piece of advice. To the company, they were all dispensable. Using this incident, the manager fired Yoo Eun-ho. The next time Kang Ji-yoon saw Yoo Eun-ho, it was in her company's elevator. She doubted her eyes and looked again to confirm. Yoo Eun-ho awkwardly tried to avoid her gaze, and Kang Ji-yoon didn't pay much attention, but she soon found out that he was the new secretary her best friend had hired for her. The previous night, Kang Ji-yoon had fainted from overwork, diagnosed with a condition caused by brain overload, and was advised to reduce stress and workload. Yoo Eun-ho didn't take it personally, but her best friend couldn't ignore it and hired a new secretary for her. Suddenly, the person she disliked became her secretary. As the boss, she could have fired him straight away or kept him for his talents. Kang Ji-yoon chose the former. However, what she didn't expect was Yoo Eun-ho's perseverance. Despite her disregard, he didn't give up because he especially needed the job. During a party at Yoo Eun-ho's house, which she attended with her husband, Kang Ji-yoon's best friend suddenly realized that Yoo Eun-ho was the ideal secretary she had been desperately searching for. Her requirements were strict. She needed someone with human resources experience who was organized, clean, and good at managing schedules. Perfect memory would be a bonus, but most importantly, the candidate needed to be able to handle Kang Ji-yoon. After seeing Yoo Eun-ho's responsiveness and problem-solving skills, the friend was convinced that he was the right person for the job. Given their past conflicts, Yoo Eun-ho initially refused the offer, but the friend insisted strongly. She was unaware of Kang Ji-yoon's strong resistance. Kang Ji-yoon argued that Yoo Eun-ho was the one who had ruined the team leader's case and caused her great trouble. However, her friend saw his capabilities as a sign of his strong abilities. Another reason for Kang Ji-yoon's attitude was Yoo Eun-ho's previous accusation of their lack of ethics. Yoo Eun-ho wanted to explain, but Kang Ji-yoon wouldn't give him a chance. Seeing the urgency, the friend advised Yoo Eun-ho on how to prepare, starting with understanding the main clients and candidates of Kang Ji-yoon. Knowing that Kang Ji-yoon disliked slow, forgetful, and clumsy people, Yoo Eun-ho had to always be ready with all the information she might ask for. Yoo Eun-ho spent the night absorbing the information and planning Kang Ji-yoon's upcoming schedule. He went to a complicated alley to buy coffee at just the right temperature. By the time he made his way through the crowded area, the coffee was no longer at the desired temperature. Kang Ji-yoon barely sipped it before throwing it away. Due to Kang Ji-yoon's forgetful nature, her friend instructed Yoo Eun-ho to carefully watch her every move and stay alert to her surroundings, as accidents could happen at any time. Yoo Eun-ho watched anxiously. In the following days, Yoo Eun-ho spent his time under Kang Ji-yoon's cold treatment, fixing printers and organizing documents for colleagues, fully integrating into the team. It seemed that everyone except Kang Ji-yoon liked Yoo Eun-ho. Kang Ji-yoon still habitually turned to her best friend for everything, even though Yoo Eun-ho was ready to help. Her friend no longer wanted to indulge this behavior and sternly told her she would no longer act as Kang Ji-yoon's secretary. She advised Kang Ji-yoon to rely on Yoo Eun-ho and warned her against overworking herself to the point of hospitalization. Despite this, Kang Ji-yoon continued to handle everything herself, personally searching for documents and nearly getting hurt again. Just then, Yoo Eun-ho, who was always watching out for her, appeared and had already found the needed documents. Kang Ji-yoon noticed Yoo Eun-ho's efforts and didn't want to waste his time. She expressed her desire to work with someone who at least respected her work, still holding a grudge over Yoo Eun-ho's previous remarks. Yoo Eun-ho sincerely apologized and expressed his wish to start over. His attitude clearly impressed Kang Ji-yoon, who for the first time seriously reviewed his resume. She noticed that Yoo Eun-ho had been continuously employed since graduation, only taking a single parental leave. Seeing that he only listed his daughter under family relations made Kang Ji-yoon reflect on her own situation. She decided to give Yoo Eun-ho a chance. Yoo Eun-ho was a man of his word. He used his free time to study headhunting knowledge extensively. He was the first to arrive at the office daily, preparing work materials for Kang Ji-yoon. He had also mastered the art of buying coffee at just the right temperature that Kang Ji-yoon preferred. While Kang Ji-yoon was busy searching for things, Yoo Eun-ho would thoughtfully appear by her side to prevent accidents. He had installed corner protectors on every desk edge in the office, and even modified the glass doors to open both ways. Gradually, Kang Ji-yoon grew accustomed to having the secretary around. Yoo Eun-ho became proficient at his job, which gave him more time to spend with his daughter. While his life was filled with laughter, Kang Ji-yoon's was much quieter. She had a troubled past and often relied on sleeping pills. Her dreams frequently brought back childhood memories, especially of her father asking her to wait as he rushed into a fire despite her pleas. Upon waking and checking the date, she realized it was the anniversary of her father's death, always her saddest day of the year. Gazing at the cherry blossoms, she remembered her father's promise to always be there to protect her and never leave her alone. A promise he broke. Yoo Eun-ho, not far away, noticed her somber mood. After learning from her best friend that today was the anniversary of Kang Ji-yoon's father's death, her friend asked Yoo Eun-ho to make sure Kang Ji-yoon ate something. He took her to a small restaurant that he said felt like home. Kang Ji-yoon asked him why he took parental leave during the peak of his career. He replied that he wanted to be with his daughter because he had promised her he would, much like her father had promised her. Seeing this, Kang Ji-yoon lost her appetite. Yoo Eun-ho bought her porridge and stomach medicine, but she said just seeing it made her nauseous, and she accidentally knocked over a glass of water. Yoo Eun-ho quickly grabbed a cloth to wipe up the spill. This fatherly gesture was too much for Kang Ji-yoon, who could no longer hold back. She loudly accused Yoo Eun-ho of meddling, releasing long-suppressed emotions. Exhausted, Kang Ji-yoon then received a call from a client informing her that the talent she had recommended was repeatedly poached by others, leading to the cancellation of their project. The client kindly suggested that someone was targeting her. Immediately, she thought of a rival from her previous company. She angrily confronted the woman, warning her to act more honorably. The rival retorted that Kang Ji-yoon had caused someone's death, so how could she speak of honor? This comment hit a sore spot for Kang Ji-yoon. In everyone's eyes, the former president of her company had been betrayed and killed by her. At that time, no one had stood by her. 5 years later, people were still pointing fingers at her. Kang Ji-yoon didn't even know how she managed to leave the place, her mind filled with the dreadful faces of these people. As she staggered, nearly unable to stand, she saw Yoo Eun-ho running towards her. She reached out for him like grasping a lifeline. Yoo Eun-ho caught her just in time, and finally, Kang Ji-yoon's tense nerves relaxed, and she fainted into his arms. Originally, there was a mole inside the company. Kang Ji-yoon, who has a strong and vengeful personality, took the initiative to report the issue. Unexpectedly, after the issue was exposed, the company fired the representative, Lee Yong-sa. Lee Yong-sa took the blame alone and committed suicide by jumping from a building. In the end, the identity of the mole remained unclear to Kang Ji-yoon. Usually, when she felt upset, she would seek enjoyment, such as ordering super spicy stir-fried rice cakes from a roadside stall. Yoo Eun-ho wanted to advise her, but remembered she disliked him meddling too much. Having no choice, Yoo Eun-ho decided to join her, enduring the extreme spiciness. After this meal, Kang Ji-yoon's mood finally improved. Recently, Kang Ji-yoon has been very busy, mainly working for a restaurant. This restaurant wants to hire the famous chef Han Jung-won with a high salary. Han Jung-won has an impressive resume, having studied abroad in his early years and worked in various starred restaurants after returning home. He has also appeared on cooking shows and is quite famous. His own restaurant is always fully booked. However, the offer from this restaurant was very generous, and Han Jung-won was tempted. He made one condition. If he were to join, he would bring his sous chef with him. This was an unusual request. Kang Ji-yoon inquired about it and found out that many employees believed there was a romantic involvement between the two, which is why Ryu Hye-in, originally a dishwasher, was promoted so quickly. Some colleagues thought it inappropriate for them to join together, as it might intensify the rumors. Others felt it was fine for them to date since both were single, and it posed no moral dilemma. Both perspectives had merit, but Kang Ji-yoon leaned towards hiring only Han Jung-won. Yoo Eun-ho disagreed and suggested Kang Ji-yoon should talk to the parties involved personally. When Kang Ji-yoon questioned him, Han Jung-won firmly denied any issues, but she noticed his hands were shaking so badly that he couldn't hold a cup steady or open the restaurant door. Convinced, Kang Ji-yoon went back and scrutinized Han Jung-won's resume, discovering a mysterious 2-year gap. Further background checks revealed that Han Jung-won had undergone wrist surgery and was unable to cook. Faced with undeniable evidence, Han Jung-won admitted that he insisted on being employed with Ryu Hye-in because she had been assisting him, and he hoped Kang Ji-yoon would help conceal his condition. Kang Ji-yoon realized that Ryu Hye-in was the real talent, equally skilled as the educated Han Jung-won. One evening, as Yoo Eun-ho cared for Kang Ji-yoon's wounds, she felt an unexpected emotional stir due to his attention and care. Later, Yoo Eun-ho drove her home, and seeing Kang Ji-yoon asleep in the car, he continued to drive around until she woke up. Kang Ji-yoon realized upon checking the time that becoming accustomed to someone's care could lead to dependency, much like Ryu Hye-in's situation. Ryu Hye-in, not adept at handling interpersonal relationships, had relied on Han Jung-won, and even cooked for him despite the rumors. Surprisingly, the restaurant decided to hire Han Jung-won even after learning the truth, valuing his fame over his actual cooking skills. However, the rival restaurant only wanted to hire him, prompting Yoo Eun-ho to decisively leave Han Jung-won behind. Yoo Eun-ho was devastated. She couldn't imagine coping without Han Jung-won's support and even began to blame Kang Ji-yoon. Yoo Eun-ho continued to offer calm reassurance, and, encouraged by him, Yoo Eun-ho finally gained confidence. She asked Kang Ji-yoon to help her find a new job. Kang Ji-yoon successfully found her a suitable position that allowed her to cook without needing to socialize with others. This incident changed Yoo Eun-ho's perspective on Kang Ji-yoon completely. Through her, he understood the purpose of his recruitment work, to help everyone find jobs they are skilled at and enjoy doing. Suddenly, a sun shower began, but Yoo Eun-ho was prepared and quickly produced a cartoon umbrella. The two walked under it together. That day, the Recruitment Association sent a conference manual. Initially, Kang Ji-yoon wasn't planning to attend, but she changed her mind when she found a report on the establishment of a recruitment academy named after Lee Yong-sa, the former association president. In the afternoon, Kang Ji-yoon had an interview with a business magazine, not only with her but also with her arch-rival, who started making snide remarks upon seeing her. Kang Ji-yoon no longer held back and warned them not to use Lee Yong-sa's name for the recruitment academy if they wished to exclude her, fearing they would tarnish his name as well. However, her rival mocked her, suggesting that Kang Ji-yoon, who was responsible for Lee Yong-sa's death, was now pretending to be a good person. After seeing her arch-rival, Kang Ji-yoon's mood plummeted again. Yoo Eun-ho suggested going for spicy stir-fried rice cakes, but Kang Ji-yoon declined, saying it was too much for her. Instead, they decided to take a walk and play some sports. After the game, Kang Ji-yoon's bad mood had lifted. After learning about the situation, Kang Ji-yoon's best friend was very worried and approached Yoo Eun-ho to inform him about Kang Ji-yoon's arch-rival's past grievances. Upon hearing this, Yoo Eun-ho also felt sad for Kang Ji-yoon, realizing that even strong women like her could be betrayed and framed. It's quite normal to have conflicts with colleagues in the workplace. Just today, a similar incident occurred at their company. A young female employee had been searching worldwide for a candidate for a major project. She finally found a qualified applicant, but just as she secured the candidate, her supervisor snatched the opportunity with a phone call in the evening, offering another job. The female employee was furious. Kang Ji-yoon treats those who argue over such matters equally, advising them to consider which position is truly better for the candidate, rather than just thinking about their own careers. Both received a stern scolding. As soon as they left the office, the female employee ran off crying, and the supervisor was left feeling awkward. It was even more awkward as colleagues around persuaded the supervisor to let the female employee have this one. Everyone knew she had been busy recruiting for the World Group, except the supervisor, who was now seen as the villain. Frustrated, the supervisor went up to the rooftop. Others were hesitant to say much, but Yoo Eun-ho followed him with a bottle of drink. Instead of urging him to give up like everyone else, Yoo Eun-ho simply listened to his complaints. After venting, the supervisor felt better. Having reviewed the information, he realized that the position was indeed more suitable for the candidate. He admitted that if he had known earlier, he wouldn't have made the call. Now, he was willing to let the female employee have the opportunity. After comforting him, Yoo Eun-ho did not neglect the female employee. He bought her a coffee as a gesture of reconciliation. However, there was still some awkwardness between them, as they would not eat together. To mend their relationship, colleagues decided to organize a welcome party for Yoo Eun-ho, which also served as an occasion for everyone to make up over drinks. Kang Ji-yoon agreed to the party, but said she would not attend as she had another engagement that evening with an investor from her company, who had been supporting her since college. The investor was very wealthy and had an incompetent son, Yoo Jung-hoon, whom he had inserted into her company under the guise of investment. There was an ulterior motive to this, but Yoo Jung-hoon was quite handsome and considerate. He noticed Kang Ji-yoon's bad mood and tried to cheer her up by showing how much he had grown up. But Kang Ji-yoon walked away uninterested. Meanwhile, with some persuasion from others, the two parties involved reconciled. After seeing that his mediation was successful, Yoo Eun-ho called a friend to check on his daughter and felt relieved to know she was fine. Just then, he heard the sound of a fire truck, which triggered a traumatic childhood memory. freezing him in place until he heard Kang Ji-yoon's voice behind him. They made eye contact but were quickly spotted by colleagues, who lined up to toast Kang Ji-yoon. Eventually, she could drink no more, and Yoo Eun-ho took over her glass. Perhaps out of habit from taking care of Kang Ji-yoon, Yoo Eun-ho's gaze followed her throughout the evening. After the party, Kang Ji-yoon was very drunk. As Yoo Eun-ho was about to call a car, he turned around and Kang Ji-yoon had disappeared. Her best friend was not worried, knowing Kang Ji-yoon would likely have gone to her office even if drunk. Still concerned, Yoo Eun-ho returned to the company and found Kang Ji-yoon asleep in her office. He decided not to leave her alone and sat beside her, eventually falling asleep himself. He was awakened by the touch of fingertips on his face, only to see a blurry-eyed Kang Ji-yoon, who suddenly kissed him. Yoo Eun-ho was immersed in a flirtatious atmosphere when, unexpectedly, Kang Ji-yoon fell asleep at a crucial moment. Waking up with a hangover, she believed the romantic scene from the night before was just a dream. Even after learning from Yoo Eun-ho that they hadn't met that night, Kang Ji-yoon was unknowingly smitten with him. She secretly sketched Yoo Eun-ho on scrap paper and found herself mesmerized by his profile. To overcome her infatuation, Kang Ji-yoon visited a bookstore to read about interpreting dreams, where she unexpectedly met Yoo Eun-ho's daughter and they became friends. That day, Kang Ji-yoon's company received an urgent order from an online luxury goods retailer, needing a skilled authenticator. With few experienced candidates available and others poached by competitors, Kang Ji-yoon quickly identified 3 potential hires: a customs officer skilled in detecting counterfeits, a celebrity appraiser from a TV show, and a duty-free shop manager with 20 years of sales experience. However, just before she could recruit them, her competitors snatched these candidates. Kang Ji-yoon furiously reprimanded the responsible team member and demanded even more qualified candidates be found. Despite their efforts, calls made by her colleagues yielded little success. Surprisingly, during lunch, Yoo Eun-ho suggested that mechanics, who know cars best, are similar to artisans who repair luxury goods, thus the best knowers of luxury items. After some research, they found a master craftsman with 37 years of repair experience. However, despite the attractive job offer, the craftsman, who only had a primary school education, unexpectedly declined, leaving them after a brief attempt to persuade. After returning home, Yoo Eun-ho was suddenly informed by his 7-year-old daughter that the school required the children to stay overnight on Friday. With some free time, he planned a team-building event at home with his colleagues. However, Kang Ji-yoon declined the invitation. A few days earlier, she had found a green dinosaur sticker under the coffee table in her office, which she knew was on Yoo Eun-ho's phone case. She concluded that the previous night was not just a dream, and confronted Yoo Eun-ho, asking why he pretended not to remember. Yoo Eun-ho was at a loss for words. Later, Kang Ji-yoon suggested they both pretend to forget the incident. Despite both harboring feelings, their stubbornness led to missed opportunities. Thinking back on the invitation to dinner, Kang Ji-yoon, tempted by both food and company, brought a carefully selected cake to Yoo Eun-ho's home. To her surprise, she found the house empty. Believing she was there for the team dinner, she was confused when Yoo Eun-ho explained that he canceled it as no one else came. Feeling awkward, Kang Ji-yoon was about to leave, but Yoo Eun-ho persuaded her to stay. Inside, Yoo Eun-ho, who not only looked handsome but also cooked excellently, quickly won her over again. As people tend to feel sleepy after eating, Kang Ji-yoon fell asleep on the couch, while Yoo Eun-ho briefly went to talk to his daughter on the phone. Despite having a nightmare about her troubled childhood, Yoo Eun-ho comforted her. The next day, Kang Ji-yoon woke up and realized she had spent the night at Yoo Eun-ho's house. Startled, she accidentally stepped on his hand. Receiving a phone call, Yoo Eun-ho realized his daughter was about to return, so the two adults hurriedly prepared to go downstairs to avoid being discovered by his daughter. Unexpectedly, as they exited the elevator, Yoo Eun-ho and Kang Ji-yoon ran into his daughter and a female neighbor who had a crush on Yoo Eun-ho. To prevent his daughter from knowing that her boss had stayed overnight, Yoo Eun-ho quickly ushered Kang Ji-yoon out as the elevator doors opened. Back home, Kang Ji-yoon was surprised to realize that the little girl she had met at her friend's husband's bookstore was Yoo Eun-ho's daughter. Curious about the situation, she invited her friend to dinner and subtly inquired about the reasons behind Yoo Eun-ho's divorce. She knew Yoo Eun-ho and his ex-wife were college classmates, who married right after graduation and soon had a child. However, they divorced just a year later. Her friend, suddenly suspicious, wondered why Kang Ji-yoon was so concerned about someone else's life. Kang Ji-yoon explained she was just looking out for an employee, which reassured her friend. Her friend then shared that Yoo Eun-ho took a long break from his career at a critical time to care for his sick daughter. Meanwhile, Yoo Eun-ho's daughter confessed to her father that Kang Ji-yoon was the sister she had met at the bookstore and expressed her affection for her, hoping to introduce them properly next time. The next day, the manager of the luxury goods platform was clearly unsatisfied with the talent Kang Ji-yoon had recommended. However, Kang Ji-yoon trusted her judgment and insisted that Ms. Cho's abilities be tested. Just then, the secretary unexpectedly informed them that an online post was accusing their platform of selling fake bags, allegedly orchestrated by Kang Ji-yoon's business rival. Ms. Cho, having examined the bag's details from photos, was 90% sure it was genuine. After personally authenticating the bag, she confirmed it was authentic. Despite her findings, the representative remained skeptical of Ms. Cho. This led to an argument with Kang Ji-yoon. Seeing the dispute, the secretary suggested sending the bag to the manufacturer for a more precise verification. While waiting for the bag to be returned to the factory for authentication, the rival company posted another article, and social media influencers who claimed to be luxury goods experts joined the fray, attacking vigorously. Keyboard warriors mocked the online platform for hiring a tailor as an authenticator. Concerned that Ms. Cho might be hurt by public opinion, Kang Ji-yoon, along with Yoo Eun-ho, visited her small shop. Unexpectedly, they met Ms. Cho's daughter there, who had urged her mother to quit days before. Ms. Cho, touched by her daughter's concern, had not argued then. However, Yoo Eun-ho shared that Ms. Cho had told him she enjoyed her work and wasn't just doing it for the money, but took pride in her profession. After hearing this, the daughter realized her mother truly loved her career and showed her support and understanding. Days later, the returned bag was officially verified as authentic, which convinced the skeptical representative of Ms. Cho's capabilities. He then invited her to work with him. Upon securing the job, Ms. Cho gave Kang Ji-yoon a handmade card holder as a token of thanks, and offered Yoo Eun-ho tickets to her daughter's piano concert, which the daughter had invited him to attend. Meanwhile, the rival, having made errors, was desperately apologizing to investors. After declaring this failure a one-off, she plotted new schemes against Kang Ji-yoon. The next morning, Kang Ji-yoon's friend noticed how unusually well-dressed she was, inspired by Yoo Eun-ho's invitation to the concert the previous day. At the office, she learned casually from a colleague that Yoo Eun-ho would be out for work all day. While Kang Ji-yoon appeared indifferent, she felt a slight sense of melancholy and loss, which was quickly dispelled by a text message from Yoo Eun-ho. Yoo Eun-ho said he would arrive on time, so Kang Ji-yoon started looking forward to their date. She frequently checked her watch at work and rushed out of the office as soon as it ended. She even bought 2 cups of coffee to wait for him at the concert entrance. Just as she was about to enter, a sudden, inexplicable feeling made her turn around. With just one glance, Kang Ji-yoon spotted the gentle and handsome Yoo Eun-ho in the bustling crowd. Her body, following her heart, moved closer to him. Thus, without a word, the two met amidst the throngs of people. Watching the handsome male secretary walking towards her through the crowd, Kang Ji-yoon began to understand her feelings for Yoo Eun-ho. Observing his naturally hanging hands with distinct joints, her heart raced with the music's crescendo. After the concert, she briefly went to the restroom and washed her hands with cold water to remind herself to stay alert. Exiting, Kang Ji-yoon admired Yoo Eun-ho's refined figure in the crowd and couldn't help but marvel at how delightful his presence was. Because the night was beautiful, they walked together towards the parking lot. Judging by the smiles on their faces, their conversation seemed enjoyable, and their hands swung as if about to hold each other's the next second. Since that night, Kang Ji-yoon had changed. She found herself constantly stealing glances at Yoo Eun-ho. She not only saved him time by holding the elevator, but also started accommodating his dietary preferences. Most notably, even during conversations with candidates, she would get distracted by Yoo Eun-ho delivering documents. Realizing this couldn't continue, Kang Ji-yoon rushed to her best friend's room next door, hoping she would help recruit another female secretary. Hearing this, her best friend thought Yoo Eun-ho had done something wrong and questioned him. After work, when Yoo Eun-ho was driving Kang Ji-yoon home, he couldn't resist asking about the situation. Expecting criticism, He was instead surprised by Kang Ji-yoon's confession. After speaking, Kang Ji-yoon walked away. Watching her leave, Yoo Eun-ho couldn't quite pinpoint his feelings, only managing to chug several bottles of ice water when he got home. The next day, Kang Ji-yoon started actively avoiding Yoo Eun-ho, making sure they weren't alone together. She stopped bringing him to meetings and left her lunch untouched. She also stopped letting Yoo Eun-ho drive her home after work. After a few days of this behavior, Kang Ji-yoon felt she might have overdone it and began to soften her attitude towards Yoo Eun-ho. Not only did she ask him to wait outside during brief meetings, but Kang Ji-yoon also thanked Yoo Eun-ho for the materials he prepared overnight. After a meeting, before getting into the car, she unintentionally found Yoo Eun-ho asleep, exhausted from working all night. The harsh sunlight was glaring, so to let him rest a bit, she kindly shielded him from the sun, willingly standing outside the car in the sun herself. That evening, Yoo Eun-ho visited his close friend's bookstore. After a few drinks, he confided that he had feelings for someone but had not expressed them due to his modest circumstances and having a daughter. He didn't want her to suffer with him. His friend, happy for him, advised Yoo Eun-ho to be honest about his feelings, suggesting that what the other person might want is his genuine and passionate emotions. Kang Ji-yoon had once met Yoo Eun-ho's daughter at the bookstore, who mentioned her dad was going to see a movie with a neighbor after work. Hearing that Yoo Eun-ho was about to go on a date with another woman made Kang Ji-yoon instantly jealous. So, when she returned to the office and saw Yoo Eun-ho still working, she hurtfully said things she didn't mean. Seeing Kang Ji-yoon become cold again, Yoo Eun-ho felt like a wounded puppy, hurt, and unsure of what to do. They ended up working overtime until late into the night. Yoo Eun-ho, who had planned to confess his feelings to Kang Ji-yoon, was unexpectedly interrupted by a call from the female neighbor. Hearing the neighbor's name, Kang Ji-yoon stubbornly turned her chair away, showing no interest in listening to him. Disheartened, Yoo Eun-ho left the office. Later, Kang Ji-yoon stood by the window, reminiscing about their moments together, and realizing she should bravely pursue Yoo Eun-ho. She belatedly rushed out of the room. Meanwhile, Yoo Eun-ho, on his way to the meeting, remembered his friend's advice. Moved by his emotions, Yoo Eun-ho turned around and headed back to the company, but unexpectedly brushed past Kang Ji-yoon as she was leaving. He thought he had missed another chance until he saw that she had searched for the movie he planned to watch tonight. Realizing she cared for him too, they frantically searched for each other on the nearby streets. Kang Ji-yoon then heard the loudspeaker noise from the phone, which matched the sounds around her, and turned to see Yoo Eun-ho approaching. He walked towards her, each step seeming to tread on her heart, and embraced her tightly. In that moment, no words were needed. They both understood each other's feelings. That night, after confirming their relationship, Kang Ji-yoon and Yoo Eun-ho agreed to keep their relationship secret from company staff. However, love-struck Yoo Eun-ho made a foolish mistake, which Kang Ji-yoon pointed out, making him wish he could hide. But Kang Ji-yoon found him especially adorable at that moment. They met with a candidate that day, Mrs. Jang, a successful lawyer. Facing a potential job switch, Mrs. Jang requested to balance work and home by working from home after 4 p.m. unless needed in court, and she asked for 2 junior lawyers to help share her workload. Kang Ji-yoon thought her demands were quite challenging, especially as their parent company was choosing between 2 lawyers. To better understand each candidate, Kang Ji-yoon visited Mrs. Jang's company the next day to talk. Unexpectedly, she saw Mrs. Jang bringing her son to the office. It turned out Mrs. Jang was undergoing divorce proceedings. Her husband claimed her workaholism caused his infidelity and was now using her work commitment against her to take their son's custody. Because she didn't want to give up her job she loved, nor lose her beloved son, she had to find a balance between work and life. However, this also led her to question whether she was qualified to be a good mother. On the way back, Yoo Eun-ho couldn't help but think of his daughter's mother. She had felt suffocated by life just watching Yoo Eun-ho with their daughter and harshly abandoned them. Although Yoo Eun-ho was initially overwhelmed as a new father, he grew into a better person over the 7 years of raising his daughter alone. Meanwhile, Kang Ji-yoon and Yoo Eun-ho, who thought their romance was hidden, were already known to her best friend. From her perspective, the friend didn't want someone as outstanding as Kang Ji-yoon dating a man who was divorced and had a child, especially since Kang Ji-yoon had faced prejudice growing up without her parents and living with relatives. She wanted Kang Ji-yoon to find someone perfect and have a normal relationship. The next day, Kang Ji-yoon and Yoo Eun-ho met with Mrs. Jang again. planning to recommend a new job according to her requirements. Unexpectedly, just as Kang Ji-yoon was about to speak, Mrs. Jang decided to resign and become a full-time mother. She knew her husband would use her loss of income as a weapon to claim she couldn't financially support their child. But she had no better solution, because her son unexpectedly expressed a desire to live with his father. To keep her son's heart, she reluctantly resigned from her legal job. At the same time, Mrs. Jang's young son appeared alone at Kang Ji-yoon's company, pleading for her help to find his mother a better job. He had overheard a conversation between his mother and Kang Ji-yoon and thought his presence was a burden to her, which led him to express the insincere wish to live with his father. Thus, Mrs. Jang returned to the workforce. Meanwhile, Kang Ji-yoon and Yoo Eun-ho's relationship deepened through these events. One day, Kang Ji-yoon suddenly received an invitation from the chairman of the company's investors to attend an inauguration banquet for someone he valued. Previously, the chairman had asked Kang Ji-yoon to help recommend this person as the head of a Korean investment company. Knowing that the chairman was subtly in control, Kang Ji-yoon thought for a moment and then declined his offer. This led the chairman to favor Kang Ji-yoon's arch-enemy even more. To make it clear who was in charge, the chairman hosted a banquet after succeeding in his plans. Unable to stay any longer, Kang Ji-yoon excused herself, saying she had another meeting, but the chairman stopped her. He then ordered a waiter to pour her a drink and forced her to drink it. At her limit, Kang Ji-yoon was about to confront the chairman directly when Yoo Eun-ho stepped in front of her, blocking her and leading her out. Once outside, she experienced a brief emotional fluctuation, embarrassed in front of someone she liked, and scolded Yoo Eun-ho for making decisions for her. However, Yoo Eun-ho firmly stated that he would do the same again, whether as her secretary or boyfriend, which soothed Kang Ji-yoon's agitation. They then took their relationship further at her house. The next day, Kang Ji-yoon received a new task at the company. A web company, failing to keep up with industry pace, had seen declining revenue over the past 3 years. Its investors stepped up, inviting the top 2 headhunting firms in the country to recommend a capable new CEO. As she left, Kang Ji-yoon's rival mocked her, predicting she would fail again because she was just a woman in love with her male secretary. And now that she had lost the chairman's trust, the company would soon collapse. She also mocked Yoo Eun-ho's judgment, but he defended himself and Kang Ji-yoon, making her find him even more endearing. As Kang Ji-yoon's company diligently screened candidates, her rival had already used private connections with the investors and the chairman to present a prepared list. As Yoo Eun-ho's relationship with Kang Ji-yoon was heating up, he finally learned the name of the daughter of the man who saved his life years ago. One night, when Yoo Eun-ho was alone at home, he was awakened by the thick smoke of a fire. In a panic, he rushed to the door to escape, but it was blocked by debris from the fire. His cries for help were drowned out by the flames and the noise of others escaping. Just as he was about to pass out, Kang Ji-yoon's father appeared and rescued him. After handing Yoo Eun-ho to a firefighter, Kang Ji-yoon's father died in an explosion at the scene. Everyone called her father a hero, but Kang Ji-yoon hated hearing this because that night, she became an orphan. After learning the truth from a friend, Yoo Eun-ho didn't know how to face Kang Ji-yoon, but then he unexpectedly received a call from her. She was on a date with her daughter, laughing and enjoying their time together. Yoo Eun-ho joined them soon after hanging up, and although they appeared happy like a family at the mall, on the way home, Kang Ji-yoon noticed that Yoo Eun-ho seemed unwell and down. The next day, Yoo Eun-ho unexpectedly took a day off from work and deliberately didn't answer or respond to Kang Ji-yoon's calls. He went to visit Kang Ji-yoon's father's grave to express his gratitude and silently vowed to take care of Kang Ji-yoon from then on. After settling everything, Yoo Eun-ho called Kang Ji-yoon, and they arranged to meet at her house after work. Upon entering the large house, Yoo Eun-ho felt sorry for the lonely journey Kang Ji-yoon had been on. After calming his emotions, he took Kang Ji-yoon's hand and revealed the truth about their past connection. Upon hearing this, Kang Ji-yoon let go of his hand and instinctively stepped back, creating distance between them. Watching Kang Ji-yoon sobbing in front of him, Yoo Eun-ho couldn't resist squatting down to hug her, but ultimately he withdrew his hand. The next morning, Kang Ji-yoon woke up to find Yoo Eun-ho had left, leaving only a note on the table stating he would wait for her until she figured things out. Her arch rival, untroubled by emotions, was focused solely on targeting Kang Ji-yoon. She frequently employed sneaky tactics, including sending an employee who had previously worked at Kang Ji-yoon's company to cozy up to the chief and extract information. She also had another trick up her sleeve. Soon, a man conspiring with the arch-rival to trap Kang Ji-yoon appeared in her office. He introduced himself as Mr. Park and offered to recommend some pharmaceutical researchers to Kang Ji-yoon, who agreed, unaware she was stepping into a trap. After dealing with work, she remained gloomy. Her best friend noticed her mood and wondered if it was because she had argued with Yoo Eun-ho. Kang Ji-yoon decided to invite her best friend for drinks and spilled all her troubles. She had long resented her father's absence and the loss of his life for strangers, leaving her alone. Now carrying this resentment, she wondered how she should face Yoo Eun-ho. Her best friend suggested she should see Yoo Eun-ho as a gift left by her father or stop resenting her father. However, such a deep-seated issue could not be resolved in a few words. Late at night, Kang Ji-yoon suffered from insomnia again, with visions of her father's face and voice. Even with perfect paternal love, a child might not necessarily be happy. That day, Yoo Eun-ho's daughter received an invitation from a classmate to a birthday party. At these parties, every little girl hopes to be the prettiest one. But Yoo Eun-ho doesn't know how to choose princess dresses, nor understands his daughter's desires. Feeling down, she went to a bookstore to read, and happened to meet Kang Ji-yoon. Learning about the girl's wishes, Kang Ji-yoon took her to buy a princess dress, and also bought a gift for her classmate, making her the star of the party. After the party, the girl began to regret the harsh words she had said to her father. She asked Kang Ji-yoon for her phone to apologize to her dad. Listening to the child's innocent words, Kang Ji-yoon felt a pang in her heart. She couldn't help but visit her father's grave to pay her respects. Over the years, it was not so much hatred for her father, as it was deep longing and love, which turned into resentment. Having resolved her feelings about her father, Kang Ji-yoon approached Yoo Eun-ho the next day to express her gratitude for him growing into such a fine adult, proving that her father's sacrifice was not in vain. Their relationship mended. Kang Ji-yoon took Yoo Eun-ho's hand and confidently walked into the company, drawing attention from all the employees. A few days later, Mr. Park approached Kang Ji-yoon again, asking her to take full charge of his company's recruitment. In return, he offered her some original shares of his company. The chief, realizing something was amiss, reported that a former employee might be spying on them. After investigating, Yoo Eun-ho confirmed his suspicions. Kang Ji-yoon decided to turn the tables by instructing the chief to pretend ignorance. When the spy contacted him again, the chief acted unsuspecting and went to the meeting, making an excuse to leave his briefcase behind during a bathroom break. The spy would surely search the briefcase, trying to find a list of candidates for future company positions, but the list was a decoy prepared by Kang Ji-yoon. Indeed, everything went as Kang Ji-yoon had anticipated. Her arch-rival obtained the list through underhanded tactics and immediately implemented a series of targeted defensive measures. They even provided reasons to reject each candidate, aiming to have the future company's directors reject Kang Ji-yoon's nominees at the meeting. However, when Kang Ji-yoon presented the real list on stage, her rival was caught off guard. The list did not feature legal experts or management talent, but potential internal candidates poised to become representatives within the future company. Kang Ji-yoon pointed out that the major issue at the future company was internal, where sycophants were promoted, capable individuals were undermined. Discrimination against all staff except programmers was rampant, and old employees bullied new ones, fostering a toxic environment of bullying and office politics. She argued that only by promoting from within and implementing targeted reforms could these issues be addressed. The directors of the future company were speechless in response to Kang Ji-yoon's incisive evaluation. Eventually, the representative chosen for the future company was selected from Kang Ji-yoon's recommendations, securing a major contract and long-term cooperation with the future company. While the company was celebrating, a news report suddenly criticized them. It turned out that Mr. Park's biotech company had collapsed, with Mr. Park having embezzled 20 billion won. Since many employees of this biotech company had been recruited through Kang Ji-yoon's recommendations, she was swarmed by reporters. Fortunately, Yoo Eun-ho appeared just in time to protect her. It was revealed that the pharmaceutical company representative who had approached Kang Ji-yoon days earlier was actually a trap set by her arch-rival. Furthermore, because Kang Ji-yoon's headhunting firm had a very high reputation, the company gained external trust with her involvement, which was then exploited to commit a fraud of 20 billion won and disappear. Kang Ji-yoon, deeply troubled, was not only questioned by the police, but also faced debt collectors protesting at her doorstep. Fortunately, Yoo Eun-ho was always by her side, protecting her from unnecessary conflicts. This led Kang Ji-yoon to move into Yoo Eun-ho's home, where his daughter also accepted Kang Ji-yoon as her stepmother. From the harmonious atmosphere the next morning, it was clear that their life together would only become happier. Due to the company being under investigation, the staff had to temporarily work out of a bookstore. Everyone pitched in to investigate the truth. However, it was during this time that a scandal erupted, accusing Kang Ji-yoon of causing the death of a candidate. Kang Ji-yoon immediately thought of her arch-rival, who couldn't stand seeing others do better than her. After seeing a post, Kang Ji-yoon went straight to her arch-rival's company and confronted them without mercy. She accused them of killing the former company's representative and framing her, as well as constantly suppressing her, all because of jealousy over her abilities. After leaving her rival's company, Kang Ji-yoon returned to her own company. Seeing the once bustling office now deserted, she couldn't help but tear up. Her rival's mocking words echoed in her ears, filling her with confusion and disbelief that anyone would still stand by her. After collecting her emotions, Kang Ji-yoon entered the bookstore. Upon opening the door, she was shocked to see that the employees who were supposed to be working from home had gathered there on their own initiative. She learned that they were all diligently searching for the real culprit to clear the company's name. Kang Ji-yoon was both moved and relieved. The chief reported the investigation findings. The fugitive Mr. Park had frequent dealings with the rival company, leading to the conclusion that the rival was indeed behind everything. Kang Ji-yoon had already suspected this, but listened patiently to the chief's report. At that moment, the arrival of her daughter interrupted the discussion. The innocent girl eagerly asked Kang Ji-yoon if she could sleep with her tonight. The employees misunderstood that Kang Ji-yoon and Yoo Eun-ho were living together. To not delay the family of three from going home, everyone quickly dispersed. Kang Ji-yoon and Yoo Eun-ho shyly took their daughter home. Kang Ji-yoon returned to the company only to find the president waiting for her. The president believed the company was in crisis and had lost customer trust due to Kang Ji-yoon's inadequate capabilities, and asked her to resign. Kang Ji-yoon stood firm, refusing to leave the company she had poured her heart into. Kang Ji-yoon asked Yoo Eun-ho to accompany her to the beach to clear her mind. Yoo Eun-ho thoughtfully gave her a necklace chosen with their daughter, wishing her everlasting happiness. Kang Ji-yoon deeply thanked Yoo Eun-ho for being in her life, sharing that before meeting him, she couldn't find joy in life, and even disliked herself. With Yoo Eun-ho, her life became meaningful, and she began to like herself more. Yoo Eun-ho tenderly held her hand and declared his love, promising to never let go, no matter where she was. The next day, after receiving much comfort from her colleagues, Kang Ji-yoon, considering the long-term interest of the company and its employees, decided to compromise with the president. She resigned from her position, allowing her rival to take over. Kang Ji-yoon announced her resignation, leaving employees confused and reluctant to see her go. The chairman's son, also an employee, pleaded with his father on his knees to spare Kang Ji-yoon, but he had to leave to work for his father. Meanwhile, Kang Ji-yoon's arch-rival signed a takeover deal with her. Unexpectedly, after losing her job, Kang Ji-yoon and her boyfriend, who was also her secretary, shamelessly started living a carefree life together, enjoying meals, shopping, and all the beauty life has to offer. However, her rival faced tough times, dealing not only with the resignation of Kang Ji-yoon's entire company, but also getting exposed as the mastermind behind a fraud scheme. To celebrate Yoo Eun-ho's new job at a major company, Kang Ji-yoon invited her former colleagues for a meal at her home, seizing the opportunity to recruit them once again. Thus, their headhunting company was officially established, with Yoo Eun-ho as their first client. In the end, Kang Ji-yoon's best friend became a mother, and her former personal secretary successfully became her husband.